The film Avatar was released in 2009, and it changed the world of cinema with its visual effects, VFX, and CGI graphics. 13 years have passed, and technology has advanced significantly. 2022 saw the release of the sequel to one of the highest-grossing films in human history. Critics have praised the technical aspects of Avatar, The Way of Water, and its storyline, a lesson on protecting our planet's natural treasures. James Cameron's new film shows us the amazing underwater world of Pandora, but how did he create a computer ocean that is both thoughtful and perfect? Well, today we will tell you about it all, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like as well. And here is how Avatar, The Way of Water solved the water problem. With every new movie release, James Cameron has pushed the technical envelope of movie making to the new generation. The first was widely considered his magnum opus, creating the new standard of screening high-budget movies in 3D. And the latest Avatar movie pushes the envelope even further with its realistic underwater sorcery. Despite the fact that almost all of the sea scenes in the blockbuster were created digitally, the writer and director of the original Avatar achieved a technical milestone by using performance capture to make them appear realistic. James Cameron used advanced performance capture technology extensively to represent the 10-foot-tall, pointy-eared, blue-skinned aliens known as the Na'vi. From the shimmering water tentacle and the abyss of Terminator 2 Judgment Day to the shape-shifting liquid metal assassin of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and a largely computer-generated ship filled by computer-generated passengers in Titanic, James Cameron's long-awaited follow-up to Avatar is a mainly computer-generated ship populated by computer-generated passengers. He co-wrote the screenplay with Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, which featured numerous aquatic scenes. Cameron's teen employees claimed that the director insisted on West being wet. The Way of Water marks a new turning point in the development of underwater performance capture for visual effects. The first trials were conducted in John Landell's backyard pool after some basic tests. A performance capture tank was built at Lightstorm Entertainment's Manhattan Beach, California site. The tank was 32 feet tall and housed around 90,000 gallons. In comparison, the Titanic seawater tank holds 17 million gallons and has viewing platforms on the deck. Along with deck observation platforms, there were windows in the pool walls for camera operators to film through, giving the facility the appearance and feel of a scientific aquarium. The tank also replicated waves and currents at Cameron's request. Now, one of the most difficult challenges for the crew was keeping overhead studio lights from interfering with performance capture data. Cameron proposed laying a layer of little polymer balls across the waterline to diffuse the light in the tank while allowing actors to safely surface. In The Abyss, he applied the basic technique to imitate dark oceanic depths. Another thing that would have interfered with the performance capture was the actors with their annoying respiratory demands. Cast members held their breath not only during takes, but also in the seconds preceding them. They trained with a freediving instructor, Kirk Crack, in addition to gaining their scuba certification. Kate Winslet holds the cast freediving record at 7 minutes and 14 seconds, quite a feat by the beautiful actress. Moving ahead, performers wore jetpack-like gadgets for the occasional propulsion boost in the water. There were safety divers on hand, as well as hot baths for the performers to relax in between takes. Professional underwater dancers and gymnasts share sequences with the main cast. This approach gives tons of performance capture data. That data was then shared with the artists at Weta FX, the visual effects business co-founded by Peter Jackson in Wellington, New Zealand. However, most significantly, it was the Weta artists who were responsible for transforming the wetsuit performers into the Na'vi. They also designed the lushly realistic artificial backgrounds, which transfer the action from a chlorine tank to an exquisite underwater planet teeming with vegetation and fauna. According to Weta, 57 new sea creature species were created for the film. Weta artists also spoke with coral reef biologists at Victoria University of Wellington. "We don't get a free trip to the Bahamas," said Joe Lettery, a Weta effects supervisor. It should be noted that Avatar, The Way of Water, is the company's largest visual effects production to date. And interestingly, there are just 2 shots in the entire film that do not use any visual effects. Despite the extensive skin priming sessions in the tank, and the massive amounts of water in the sequel. Almost all of the water in the film is computer-generated. Water was used in 2,225 of the 3,240 visual effects scenes on which Weta worked. To bring Pandora to life, the Weta team had to become experts not just in hydrodynamics, but also in the photorealistic representation of those complex mechanics. The way water splashes, sloshes, sprays, and saturates, to use industry jargon, had to be solved. There were over 1,600 separate main effects simulations, says Eric Sandin, another Weta effects supervisor. The appropriate flow of waves on the ocean, waves interacting with characters, waves interacting with environments, the thin film of water that runs down the skin, the way hair behaves when wet, the index of refraction of light underwater. We wanted to ensure that everything was physically correct. The crew shot hundreds of hours of reference material as part of their research, including wind ripples on the surface of the ocean, waves hitting rocks, and seaweed movement. Sandin recruited a friend to be submerged in front of the camera so that the team could research the impact of water on curly hair. Our pool was hardly the warmest place on the planet. I don't think she'd do it for us again, he remarked. Moreover, Cameron himself supplied reference material from his own deep-sea explorations to help with the visual dynamics. As Sandin pointed out, because you're comparing it to a live-action element in the same scene, the simulated water on the Na'vi had to seem equally as convincing as the genuine water on the human figure, and we don't want you to consider that. To produce the insane water effect, a significant amount of power is also required. This is why Weta's systems needed 2 weeks to recreate merely the movement of the water for that shot. That's before you factor in the millions of processing hours needed to render the graphics. The total quantity of data stored for this film was 18.5 petabytes, compared to 1 petabyte for Avatar. Another scene shows boats colliding through completely recreated waves. Everyone will think we're out on the open sea, Sandin said. While the results are in a sense spectacular, the point of this kind of painstaking work is not to draw attention to itself. It's not about crazy moments that yell out visual effects. These are just effects that make the film work, he said. We just want people to watch the film and be swept away, and forget that we did anything. And that's basically what happened. The box office success of the sequel bodes well for the future of the franchise. As Cameron previously announced, there will be 3 more movies in the series, with Avatar 3 set for a December 2024 release, Avatar 4 expected to come out in 2026, and Avatar 5 scheduled to drop in 2028. Cameron's director's cut for Avatar 3 has already made headlines for its reported 9-hour length, with rumors claiming he's been pushing to add completed visual effects to the whole thing even before edits. Now, we just can't wait to see what magic Cameron does in the upcoming films. And for those who haven't watched Avatar: The Way of Water yet, what are you waiting for? Go watch it. Anyways, that was all for this video. We hope that you enjoyed it thoroughly, and thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more interesting content like this. Peace out.